It is a Friday, and I've got a really cool story. I got one of the coolest things in the mail yesterday, and I don't even know how to begin with this because it really is mind-blowing to me. So I got something in the mail yesterday, but we got to back up. Let's back up 6 years, back to 2019, pre-COVID. And I had started my channel a few years earlier, but hadn't really started making videos on a regular basis or anything like that until about 2019. 2019 is when I started taking it all very seriously, putting up videos regularly and so on. And it was around that time that I started occasionally doing videos where I'd open mail on camera because I was still experimenting with what worked and what didn't work. And I used to get a lot of cool stuff that I'd open on camera. I don't do that as much anymore, only because I get so much stuff now. I think if I open a bunch of stuff on camera now, and then next week, they tend to look alike, okay? But I occasionally will get something extremely unique in the mail. And there was a time back in 2019 where I got an envelope in the mail, which, by the way, yes, I still have. And I opened this envelope up, and it's from Laramie, Wyoming. And it's got a really, really cool handwriting on it. But there's also something in the envelope that strikes my eye as being a little different. And that is there's a quarter taped to the envelope. Okay? Taped to a piece of paper inside the envelope. And I'm like, okay, what is this? So I open it up and I read the card that is inside, and there's a card in there. Very nice card. And there's also a couple pictures, which we'll get to in a second. But it's dated May of 2019. Dear Steve, I've been watching your videos now for almost 6 months. I just want to say both how much I enjoy your oratory and your brand of humor. Your story of the neighbor who kept mowing over the strange green lawn stakes had me laughing so much I had to pull over. I'm a 23-year-old Bermudian from Bermuda who rolled the dice and started university here in Laramie, Wyoming. I'm studying music and I specialize in big band, 30s and 40s, jazz. I could not be happier, though adapting to Wyoming winters from island life has proved difficult. Yeah, from Bermuda to Wyoming, there will be a change in the weather. So a big part of why I chose the States was for the car culture. And one of the first things I did was purchase a 1963 Cadillac when I arrived. This was also my first car, and I daily it to this day. Your stories and knowledge on this and motoring reminds me of why I am a car guy. It's become a tradition of mine to listen to you when I take long road trips. So I'm going to be hearing a lot of you as I take my third road trip this Thursday to the California desert. I got quite a bit of anger directed at me for daily driving my Cadillac, and the various car collector circles and enthusiasts say I'm beating up a prime survivor by driving it. I'd be curious to know your thoughts on this. Should these mint classics be enjoyed or protected and safely kept? Many thanks. Warm regards, B. Dylan Hollis. And he gave me his email address. So that was the card. But like I said, elsewhere in the card, there was a quarter. There was a really cool Polaroid type photograph of his car, and that's a beautiful car. And I'm pretty sure at the time I said that cars were designed and built to be driven. And, I have myself a 99 Viper, which when I got it at 4,000 miles on it, the original owner put 4,000 miles on it, and I put 4,000 miles in it the first year I owned it, more than that. So cars should be driven. Not abused, but driven. So there's the photograph of his car. And along with that was a note and another picture of him sitting on his car. And he said, your video on your old Charger reminded me that it's important to get a picture with your car. And I had told the story, and I've told it recently again, about how I had a 69 Dodge Charger. I've got a few photographs of the car, none with me in the picture. Who would think to do that? So anyway, the cool part about the story is that there is, in fact, a quarter that is taped to this piece of paper. And he says that, and I'm trying to do this without ripping any of this, because, of course, I don't have my... There we go. There we go. We can do this without harming anything. There we go. One more. Oh, we're there. There we are. There we are. And this note says, this 1965 quarter was used by both the original owner for 47 years and me to adjust the carburetor mixture and idle speed in the caddy, as it fits perfectly in the large flathead screw adjuster. It was clipped to the air cleaner within the engine bay all this time. I thought it might be a nice companion for your famous $100 bill. So for the longest time, if you tuned in, I did have this leaning up over here somewhere. And I'm going to put it back here right now, because I know that when it was here, it was not very clear what it was. And if people hadn't seen the episode where I explained what it was, people wouldn't have gotten what that was. But the point is that all these years later, I'm not making this up, this was next to my desk. I've got a work desk and I've got another desk next to my, and it was on that desk the whole time. And so yesterday in the mail, I got this book sent to me. And the book is B. Dylan Hollis, Baking Across America, a vintage recipe road trip. And I'm like, wait, I recognize that car. That's the car that had the quarter in the air cleaner for making carburetor adjustments and throttle adjustments. And so there's a note in here. There's a card in here. Dear Steve, it's been eons. Well, 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. It's been eons since I sent you that carb adjusting quarter from my 1963 Caddy. And just so you know, my friend, I didn't spend it. It's right there. Still loving what you do, especially the stories from Bad Axe. And we do talk about Bad Axe from time to time. Somehow, and this is modesty for you. Somehow, since I wrote to you last, I blew up on social media and got a book deal with Penguin Random House. That same Caddy is now on the cover of my second book, All the Best, B. Dylan Hollis. So that is B. Dylan Hollis leaning out the window of his Cadillac. And as you might guess from this cookbook, which, by the way, is actually a travelogue and a cookbook, as he went around America looking for things to bake. This is more baking, baking across America. But he has a previous book. And so this is his second big book. And what's amazing is that if you look him up on social media, you will find all kinds of stuff about him with, millions of followers on various sites like TikTok and Instagram. And he's got a YouTube channel, although I'm not sure if he posts much there. But it is absolutely amazing. Because remember, he came to America to study music. And apparently, during COVID, he started doing videos about cooking because it's something you can do indoors by yourself. At least that's my interpretation of that. But the videos took off. He's got an amazing personality. And I'll be honest, I had not seen any of his videos that he had made because of the fact that when I got this, he said, I'm studying music in Wyoming. Here's a picture of my car. And so it turns out that in the cooking and baking communities, he's a hero. People know who he is. And the funny thing is that I got this book yesterday, and somebody walked by my kitchen table and said, you got Dylan Hollis's book. And I said, yeah, he sent it to me. You know him? Not only do I know him, if he needs to adjust the carburetor in his Cadillac, he's got to talk to me because I've got the carburetor adjustment right here on my set. So I couldn't be more excited about this. And I'll admit, I'm not a baker. So whether I bake anything out of this book, I probably not. But I will ask others to bake things for me because that's how you get it done. But this is just mind-blowing because I looked the book up yesterday and it's doing so well. As an author, I'd be jealous if I didn't know him. But I'm not jealous. I'm proud. It's not like I got him to where he is. But he did write to me at the very, very beginning of my journey on YouTube and tell me how much he enjoyed my videos. And at the time, I remember actually being quite moved by this because the picture here and then the picture here and the very, very kind note. By the way, he's got the coolest handwriting. Very, very kind note. And then to send me the book now, again, with a very, 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 very kind note. I can't thank him enough. And so I encourage you to look up B. Dylan Hollis and check out Baking Across America, especially if you are into cookbooks. I've now spoken to friends of mine who are into cooking, and they said, oh, yeah, we know him. We know him. And it is a testament to social media, the good side of social media. And that is if somebody has an interesting personality and something to say, they can probably find a platform for people who enjoy what they do. And so he started out, again, in Bermuda, came to Wyoming to study music, and it turns out now he is a best-selling cookbook author. So I got to salute B. Dylan Hollis, and that will be the explanation for the quarter. I'll position it a little better than that. It was on the set for years, and it got moved around. Like I said, it was actually on the secondary desk over here for all those years. When I got this book, I'm like, oh my gosh. So there you go. That's the story of B. Dylan Hollis, an early viewer of my channel, and now an extremely successful author. Questions or comments, put them below. Otherwise, talk to you later. Bye-bye.